Hello, welcome back to our weekly discussion of our mission as humans in general and as Jews in particular, as we learn it from the five books of Moses, the Torah. This week, we're reading from the third section in the final of the five books of Moses, the book called Devarim, or Deuteronomy in English, and the parsha called Akev. In this parsha, Moses is continuing his farewell speech to the Jews as they get ready to enter the land of Israel, and he will soon be passing away. He's urging them to follow the laws and not to trample on them, not even the seemingly most minor of the laws. And we know the second point in particular because of the name of the parsha and the word Akev, as you see at the top. Akev means heel, and it's in the first verse of this parsha. So let's jump in and see perhaps what we might learn about our mission from this parsha. So if we look a little bit into the parsha in the 10th chapter and the 12th verse, we can see that Moses is talking to the people and he says, Israel, what does the Lord your God want from you? He wants you to lalechet bechol d'rachav, to walk in his ways. Okay, we can probably appreciate the fact that this is metaphorical because how does a human physical being like us walk in the ways of an eternal, non-physical being like Hashem, like God? Okay, we'll get to that in a second. If this is important, one would probably expect that it would be repeated, and of course it is. In the next chapter, in fact, in chapter 11, in the 22nd verse, we see it again. That Moses is commanding the people to do all the commandments, and again, once again, lalechet b'kol d'rachav u'v'davakach. So now we have an extra little piece added on. Not only are we supposed to walk in his ways, but we're also supposed to cleave to him. So that leaves us with a couple of questions. What does it mean to walk in God's ways? And what does it mean to cleave to him, particularly as it regards to our mission? So, our sages tell us that we walk in Hashem's ways, we walk in God's ways by imitating him. We can't obviously walk in the same footsteps, so to speak. So we imitate him. We take an active role. Hashem was active. Hashem created this world. We have to be active. We can't just sit on a mountaintop and meditate and isolate ourselves. We have to be involved. And how do we know this? Well, this comes to us from a couple places. What does it mean to be active? It says here, going now back to the 10th chapter, V'yachalta es hager ki gerim hayisem ba'eretz Mitzrayim. You should love the stranger because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. So what we see here then is that the crucible of Egypt, the 200 plus years of slavery, was and still is such an important part of our identity as Jews, and the mercy, compassion, the sympathy, and empathy that we feel for other human beings. And of course, to feel this, to love them, to feel empathy, to feel compassion, it means you have to do something, you have to be active. Okay, that's fair. So we understand that. Is it limited then to people? No, we've said before that it's not. That it also includes the inanimate objects. We have to be an active participant in also being involved with the inanimate objects. And here, going back now to the beginning in chapter 8, same parsha, in the 10th verse, it says, Ve'achalta v'savakta, you'll eat and be satisfied, uvarachta es Hashem Elokecha, and you're going to eat and be satisfied and bless Hashem. So, how can we, as finite human beings, actually bless Hashem? Certainly we cannot, but what it's telling us, what our sages tell us, is what this means is when we eat our bread, we can say a blessing before we eat it, as many people in many religious sects do, and we can also say a blessing after we eat it. And what it does then is it makes us an active role in raising the spirituality of this otherwise inanimate object, this bread, so that it's participating with us in what we're trying to do. Okay, so we've answered a couple questions about what does it mean to be active? What does it mean to cleave to Hashem? So I think we can learn something now going back to the 11th chapter in the very beginning where it says, V'achavta et Hashem Elokecha. And we've discussed this before. What the heck does it mean to command someone to love something? It's very difficult. But the important part for our discussion today is this extra word, this seemingly extra word, V'achavta et Hashem, and you will love Hashem, et Hashem. So what the sages tell us is that the extra word et means that not only are we talking about Hashem himself, not only God himself, but also those who are already very close to Hashem, who are already on point and succeeding in the mission. So when we cleave to him, when we're walking in his ways and we're cleaving to him, we can't obviously walk in the ways and follow the footsteps of Hashem himself, but we can certainly of others. Okay, so what did we learn then? In summary, we learned that we need to follow to Hashem and cleave to him. How do we follow him? We follow him by being active with everything in this world, not just the humans, but also the inanimate objects. We cleave to Hashem by following those who are already on point with the mission. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you have, please like below, subscribe. May we all realize our mission speedily in our days, Besoros Tovos, and the Shabbat Shalom.